All right, how's it going, everyone? So I've got a sentence surgeon video for you guys here. I apologize for my fingernails. They are still very much colored from the color run, which we just did today whenever I'm filming this. So like you'll see I've got some discoloration on my hand. It's not a giant bruise, and my fingernails look super dirty, but it's actually just colored cornstarch that I haven't been able to clean out yet. But let's look at our sentence today. So we have a poetry novel that we're going to be reading together called Hate That Cat, and we're going to read it all in 1 week, so we're still going to get the whole thing finished. But here's our sentence. It says, "Hear the dogs with their yips, squeaky yips." And that's why it's structured a little bit differently. So we are going to go ahead and say, like, for a sentence structure, we're going to go ahead and say that it's poetry, but it's mostly one type, and we'll get there in just a second. So it's almost like this right here, if it wasn't a poem, would be one type of sentence structure. And then this part, squeaky yips, would be, it's a separate line, so it kind of doesn't exactly go along with it. But we'll get to that in a second. The type of sentence, it has an exclamation point on the end of it. So it's either going to be exclamatory, which shows strong expression, or it's going to be commanding somebody. It's going to be an imperative. So let's read it to decide. So imperative would be something that is being commanded. Hear the dogs with their yips, squeaky yips. Okay, when I listen to that, like, yeah, I could think, oh yeah, that's like some important stuff happening, good emotions, they're squeaky. Yes, but actually, they are commanding somebody to do something. They said, hear them, hear these dogs. So this is actually going to be commanding somebody to do something. It is our first imperative sentence. So it's imperative. And let's dig into the parts of speech. All right, so I'm going to look for my nouns. These are my people, places, or things. So we have dogs. Dogs ends in an S, but it is a type of noun, and it is a plural noun because it ends in an S. There's more than one dog. So a plural noun with their yips, squeaky yips. Okay, so yips, it's a sound. So in one way, I think it's a plural noun, but it's also, to me, I'm going to put plural noun on both of them. To me, because it's a sound, we want to recognize that this is a tricky word to write. What's that word? That is a sound that is written out loud. It is an onomatopoeia, O-N-O. So ono, mat, M-A-T. And then another O, O-P-O-E, I-A. Onomatopoeia. So that's an onomatopoeia. And this, I mean, they're the same words, so they match. These are onomatopoeias. All right, let's look for a verb in action. I see hear. Hear is an action. It's a verb, and it's present tense. It's not a progressive verb because it doesn't have ing and all that stuff added to it. Present tense verb. Okay, the remaining words, so we would be looking for something that's a describing word. We have the, with, there, and squeaky. Squeaky does describe the yips. It's definitely describing a noun, so that's going to be an adjective. All right, we have the, with, and there. We know the is considered an article, one of those short, easy words, a, and, in. The. With is a preposition, which we're going to talk a little bit more about this week. I can't remember which day, but preposition. There is replacing the word dogs. So there is replacing dogs. So that's a pronoun. And because we have a preposition, we have a prepositional phrase, which is with their yips. With their yips. And that'll make a little more sense later this week. All right, so let's look at the subject and the predicate. The only nouns we have in the sentence are dogs and their. and the action, the verb, is here. So the action is very obvious, I think. The predicate is here. Now here's the tricky part. Here's the tricky part. Whenever we have an imperative sentence, there's actually a hidden subject of the sentence. It's like it's hiding in the midst. I don't have a highlighter. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, good. I've got a highlighter. So, imperative sentences have a hidden subject. Let's see if we can figure it out. So if we use the noun here, it's dogs. Is it commanding the dogs to hear? It says hear the dogs. No, it's not making the dogs hear, so dogs isn't the best subject for the word hear. It's something else. It's that hidden subject. It's you. Boom. So it's like it's almost saying, hey, you hear them, like forcing you to. Like, you hear them. Hear them. Do them yourself. We're going to put it in parentheses because it's actually not there. It's hidden. But that's kind of what it's doing. Anyone who's listening to the poetry is supposed to be hearing them. All right, so that leaves us with one thing left, which is what type of sentence structure it is. So if that says, hey, you, hear the dogs with their yips, that's pretty simple, right? So it's mostly a simple sentence. But I don't want to call it complex because of the squeaky yips part, because it's a poem and poems are structured a little different. So I think that's about as clear as we can make this one. All right, that's it, guys. Have a great day.